Hi guys, I'm going to teach you how to draw trend lines and how trend lines play an important role in swing trading as well as in intraday trading. We are looking at Adani ports here, and we see this price is going in a horizontal way. So we should not be going for a trend line here. Trend lines basically will come in when we have a clear pattern, either upswing, prices going upwards steadily or prices going downwards. So let's take a look at Apollo Hospitals. I'm just looking at a few charts. Uh, this is Axis Bank here. So what we have done here basically is, I'll show you. So if you see here, the price is kind of in a double bottom pattern here and a bit of consolidation here. And if we want to understand or go deep inside what trends do we see here, then what we need to do basically is that we need to go for a trend line here. Trend lines will be drawn trend lines will be drawn at the bottom here for price in an uptrend, and because they support the price going upwards, and to get better clarity on where the uptrend could reverse for a while, we draw another trend line. And what you can do is just select this trend line. You do Control C, Control V, and window shortcut for copy and paste, and we place a trend line here. Now, trend lines have to be uh, basically the trend line should be parallel. They should not go up and down. And what we do here is, so we draw a trend line, and the trend line has to be parallel here. Now, there is a question on whether we draw a trend line and connect the wicks or shadows or the body, meaning the close or the open. Now, basically, this is quite subjective and it's up to you. Normally, some traders suggest that you draw it from the wicks for intraday trading because it captures the intraday volatility. And if you are into swing, intraday spikes don't mean much, because if you are going to basically not keep a stop loss in the system, but and trade on a daily candle, then what you can do is you wait for the next day, and if the price has closed below your stop loss, meaning the close price of a candle, daily close is touched your stop loss or gone beyond your stop loss, you close out your trade at market rates. This is one way to do it, and the second is to keep it in the system. If you keep it in the system, the intraday volatility will trigger your stop loss and you'll be out. There are pros and cons to each method, but that's for a different day and for a different session. So, trend lines here, trend lines are drawn at the bottom when the prices are going upwards. Trend lines are drawn on the top when prices are in a downtrend. But here, since we are drawing something on the top and at the bottom, it's called a trend line channel. Now, trend lines have to have at least two touches, but three is always better. The more the merrier, but don't force fit it. Now, if you see here, taken, prices have hit the top of the trend line, and this serves as a dynamic resistance. Similarly, prices, when they came below, the trend line has served as a sort of a support where prices bounce off. We have not gone into support and resistance as of now. Uh, I will in other chapters of the course. So basically, to summarize, support is place where bearish prices bounce off, and resistance. This is a dynamic resistance is where bullish prices bounce off, because there are sellers waiting here and there are buyers waiting here. Buyers wait here because the prices have come to a place where there are a lot of buy orders, big money orders, or prices are at a reasonable level. So there are buy orders here. Similarly, there are sell orders here. That's why the prices does a ping pong here and there between support and resistance. So what this helps us to do is, if you want to trade within the channel, you could buy here at a confluence of an EMA or a trend line. You could place your buy order here, and if it gets filled, you could sell before the price reaches this point. Now, this is for trading within the channel, and if you want to trade outside the channel, be an ultra safe, you want to be play it very safe, then you would buy when the price breaks above the trend line or breaks and retests again. So that's why we have a trend line channel instead of just one single line uh, for prices going upwards. Let's look at Bajaj Finserv. Now, here I will just delete these lines. Here, prices are slowly moving downwards. You have a you have a lower high and a lower low. This high is lower than this high. This low is lower than this low. So it's a lower high, lower low. So we can draw a trend line here. Uh, we can draw a trend line here, basically connecting the highs. Let me delete this. Come here for a bit here. You can keep your mouse with the left click pressed here to bring it in such a way so that the candles don't touch this. Otherwise, you won't be able to draw here. If I do a reset chart view, see, I may not be able to draw here because it's almost touching the top of the screen. So what I'll do is I'll keep my left mouse pressed, come here, take the trend line and draw here. I am trying to get as many touches as possible, but not trying to force fit. Okay, do not try to force fit it. So this is the trend line. Remember, like I told you, we draw a trend line on the top of the candlesticks when the price is in a downtrend. And we draw a trend line at the bottom of the price if prices are moving upwards. Now, this clearly tells you that the price is lower high, lower low. So, you want to take a long when the price breaks this above the trend line, or a break and a retest if you're an ultra safe trader. And now this gives us this information. But what if you don't want to wait till the break of the trend line? You want to trade even when the price comes somewhere below here. So for that reason, I select the trend line, Control C, Control V, and I'll bring the trend line here. If you see here, I've got lots of touches. Now I can keep it something like this here. I've got one touch, two, three, four. Some of prices have broken the trend line, but that's fine. See, this is one trend line here. You could bring it, you could say that no, let's bring it further here, let's only touch, then we get less touches. Our job is to maximize touches. So we've got a reasonable mix of body as well as wicks touching, and that's fine. Now, this allows us to, for example, if the price doesn't break the trend line but comes here, you could always buy here and exit before the price comes here, because this is dynamic resistance, this is dynamic support. That's why this is a trend line channel. Let's go to Bajaj Finance. Prices are consolidating here, so nothing much to draw. You could draw a trend line here, but then it would already be broken. So let's go to Bharti Airtel. Again, prices are consolidating here. Let's go to BPCL. These are some of the trades I took earlier, so you have those markings that you see. Since I'm using the charts, so I have drawn a trend line here. Let me basically bring it down, remove the trend line. Let me remove the trend line here and the trend line here. So you see, the prices are slowly moving upwards. So, but they're moving upward, but to get better clarity, we need a trend line. Prices are going upwards, so from the bottoms to the bottoms of the candlesticks, whether wicks or body, is fine. Something like this. Then Control C, Control V. This is for your learning. That's why I'm telling you the shortcut so that you can do this rather than coming here again, selecting a trend line, then drawing it. Best to do a control C and a control V. It's quick, right? So come here. Remember, we have to keep it parallel, not something like this. Otherwise, it becomes different thing. It's not a trend line. It becomes a pattern of price, an ascending triangle, descending triangle, so on and so forth. So if you see here, prices are taking support here. Prices are being resisted here. They've come down here. They tried to, the bears tried to go down but found support at the 20 EMA. So intraday spike, but they closed within the trend line and then here. So with this trend line channel, you have the option, of taking an entry close to the trend line and selling before this, because chances are price will come here and then come down again. So this is why trend line channels are important. And if you uh, if you do this, you can also use this in intraday uh, by drawing trend lines, but that would be on a 5-minute time frame, where if the prices break below, you can take a short intraday short in equity, and you can take an intraday buy along here, or you could take it in between. So this helps basically. That's why you have trend line channels here. And let's go look at some other shares. Coal India again. I had drawn these trend lines earlier uh, for the purposes of showing this to you. Let me draw trend line here. So price is in an uptrend. Okay, don't draw it like this. You can draw it like this also. Let's see. Draw a trend line here. And we have a nice trend line fitting here. Okay. And then I'm going to reset the chart. Now we see. We are in the trend line. We have a couple of touches here, a couple of touches here. Just bring this a bit. Yeah, just bring this a bit here. Yeah. So you have a couple of touches here. Prices are moving upwards, then price came down. Now again, prices are going upwards, so you don't need the top line. You could have done with this. But when you have a trend line channel, like I explained, you can trade in between the channels as well. Because we know that EMA 20 is also hugging the trend line. So you have a confluence here of the trend line as well as the support. So you could have taken a buy, you could have placed a limit buy order here, and then you sell before the price comes here. And these are uptrends, and you can draw trend line in a downtrend as well, trend line channels. Come here, HCL Tech, see price, HCL Technologies. Let me delete these and draw it for you again. Price is in a clear uptrend. So we take a trend line, the second one on the tool palette here, and we join the lows of the trend line, which are supporting the price upward. You have one touch, two touch, three touch, four touch. You could just, take this and make it a bit here. You get even more touches. And you have a trend line here for the tops. So should we do like this because this otherwise goes outside? No, absolutely not. This is a single candle. We need multiple touches for the trend line to be valid. So this is a valid trend line. Prices bounced off here, broke the trend line, but then came back again. They consolidated for a bit. Then again, they found support here at the bottom trend line. You have a big green candle here, 4.4%. Again, you see the wick here, 1685. Prices, the trend line is serving as dynamic resistance. Again, prices have come here. So you could have taken a long here. This is a good place to take a long. You could have taken a long here, close to the trend line. those, and the EMA 20 acting as another factor of confluence. Again, you could have placed a buy order here and you would have made money here. So this is how you draw trend lines. I hope you learned how to draw trend line channels. Um, have I shown you something like bottoming prices? Yeah, okay. I'll show you one. For HDFC Life Insurance, you can even draw trend lines and trend line channels in a bearish trend. It's not necessary that they always have to be in a bullish trend. So if you see here, there is a trend line that is being drawn here, and when the prices are in a downtrend, you draw only the top line. If the prices are in an uptrend, you draw only the bottom trend line. But trend channels give you more information. So we're doing it like this. Can you see? Just placing it here, and they are nice parallel, and you can see prices moving between them. So this is, even in a downtrend, a trend line channel works, and it's good. You can buy here and sell before the top here. I hope you had a good time. You noted this. Please watch it again and again. And if you have any doubts, I'm here to serve you. Thank you all and happy learning.